Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, I told you that I would show you my two latest rank 4s, brand new, just took them up. I did the video explaining kind of like how did I get some of these champions. I also did the video with the MCoC Illuminati going over my roster and explaining like here's who they would rank up. I thought it'd be really cool, and a lot of you really enjoyed that video of getting the perspective of 3 different incredibly smart players on who they would rank up or how they would advise me. And then of course I'm in there too, giving you my opinion and who I was going to rank up. Now, a lot of you are very astute and you're like, hey, wait a minute, you've already got Gallon at rank 4. And you're right, I do. And we're going to talk briefly about him. I'm going to show you one fight, just one little snippet. If you blink, you'll miss it. That's how good this guy is in certain scenarios. And then I'll show you my other rank 4. I used an awakening gem on both of them. That's how good I think they are, how meaningful and how much they're going to help my account. Let's go check them out. Okay, I love this champion. For those of you who saw it, I was on vacation and I was able to kind of play test him a little bit while I was doing CCP stuff. And it took me 2 fights, literally that was it, to decide I need this guy. I need this guy. There's a lot of stuff in there, right? Like, I mean, I'm not even going to make the jokes. I'll save the jokes for something else. But I love playing him. I love what he can do. I love his synergy with Mr. Fantastic. I said I'd save those kind of jokes and campy stuff for others. But I really love his moveset. I love the way he moves. He's got a really nice reach on the heavy. But here's the big thing. So many of you have asked me, hey, you know that I took up Teddy Hulkling to rank 4. And you're like, do you regret that now maybe? Or no, I do not regret any of that. Hulkling is a great champion on his own. I do not regret taking him to rank 4, period. I also am so excited to have Gallon. They have similarities. To me, this feels similar to Nimrod and Omega Sentinel. I understand why people compare them. I get it. There is some crossover, right? I haven't talked about it in a while, but the MCoC Venn diagram. There's going to be champions that cross over, but when you're building a roster, when you're building an account, if those are problems that Kabam seems to be throwing at us, you're going to want a full coverage. And I think Gallon and Teddy are different enough. They're different enough. They really are. Look at their immunities. They are different. And their damage, the way they do damage is very different too, right? Gallon's going to be these massive, massive bursts. Like I said, we're going to take a look at it. I think he's incredibly well suited for the game as right now and definitely where it seems to be headed in the shifting relationships. And it's not shifting, it's evolving, because all of those champions are still in the game, have not changed. But the evolving relationship between Cosmic and Mystic in some way, shape, or form, more when you're fighting Gallon, right? You're going to want those neutralized champions. And then going up against tech champions, I'm going to get you some footage of him going up against Nimrod. I think you're really going to see that. And then here's a war fight. It's going to be quick and we'll get to the next champion. He's totally ramped up because of the node. Watch how absurdly fast this is. It's a rank 4 Gallon, unboosted. He is being ramped up by the node, but even without that node ramping him up, fight probably takes another 10 to 15 seconds. I think he's going to be an absolute monster in war and in battlegrounds. Those are my 2 highest priorities in this game, my 2 favorite modes by far. I'm so excited to have a rank 4 Gallon for them. I'll see you for the next rank 4 champion. Okay, I have to say, picking the other champion was pretty difficult. I really did listen to the MCoC Illuminati, and they made so many great points. And the fact is they know me too, right? One of the things we always talk about is you gotta enjoy whoever you rank up, otherwise you won't play them. And I really thought about Tigra. I thought about Kitty Pryde. I definitely thought about Scorpion. If you haven't seen my Scorpion, check out the MCoC Scorpion Essentials I did on them. I'll link it right here, and then come on back, right? Or just save it, go to that later. Really going over it. He's got some very key synergies that take him just to this outrageous level. I'm so glad they Kabam decided to leave it in the game because I think it's worth it. And you can play him without the synergies, but this isn't a Scorpion video. That's not who I took up. I took up Quicksilver. I took up Quicksilver. Now just look at this, is a beautiful group of champions here. I'm very excited. I'm not too worried about my imbalance. And I took up Quicksilver. I'm going to talk about it for a couple of reasons. Why I took him up. I did use a generic in him too. And some of you are probably like, hey, dude, weren't you the one who's telling us you were struggling to even land 5-hit combos and he was very confusing in that way, shape, or form? And yeah, I was telling you that. And I'm here to also tell you, probably over a couple hours of playing him, I took him to war quite a few times. There's nothing like the stress test of a war fight to really force you to concentrate. I've got it down. Now, if you see me live streaming, I'll probably mess it up still a few times. But I've gotten down his combos. I've gotten down being able to end in a medium, go into a special. I realize how basic that sounds, but play him. And a lot of people are saying the same thing, but you get used to it. If you're having trouble with that, my advice would be to throw your last medium, whatever that is, whenever you decide to end that combo, throw your last medium and that special a little bit earlier than you think you need to, and then you'll start to get the timing down. I've had a lot of success with it. In fact, we're going to look at a war fight. You'll see I'm completely unboosted. It's a fight that in theory, you probably would have taken with Spider-Man 99. There's a lot of the fights I tested with Quicksilver. Now, I used a generic in him, and I used 199 Sig Stones. Why did I do that? Well, his Sig ability is fantastic. I love that. I love when the Prestige champions have a signature ability that you actually want to put your Sig Stones in. It's like doubling down, right? They're so rare. Kabam, great move on your part. And also, this is another champion. I understand why there's comparisons to Spider-Man 99. And in fact, when I was just reading through his abilities, I really thought there was a lot of lap over, right? Or yeah, that's the right word, I think. Hey, you guys get my point. And there is, right? And you can get his withers up if you're putting points into dexterity. MP Blaze is one of the ones who's really starting to talk me through with that. And he's starting to talk to me about some fight strategies, which I will show you in an Essentials video on Quicksilver. The other thing that's massive about him, though, and it's very eye-catching, is he can do these insanely big bursts of damage. Now, the ramp up to get there is not insanely long, right? This isn't like Guardian, remember, and you throw like a ton of special threes, and after 10 minutes of gameplay, you do this huge special two. No, it's not that. But it does take time. It takes longer than I thought it was going to. That's not a complaint. I actually like that, and that's part of why I don't have really concerns that he's going to get rebalanced. They better not. Is because it does take time setting all that up, but I think there's strategies to access that damage a little quicker. My buddy MP Blaze, MCoC Illuminati, extremely smart player, has been talking me through with that. I'm looking forward to getting some fights in like that, get the Essentials video out on Quicksilver here. And here's the other thing, is it is very easy to get to 300, I don't remember what they call it. It's not Whiplash, momentum. It's very easy to get to 300 momentum. And that's where you get, I think, the biggest part of his utility, or the most material difference making, right? It elevates him. Having a slow and then also not miss, right? I think the only other champion that's like that is Stealth Suit Spider-Man. He's making a bit of a comeback himself. That's a big deal. It is a really big deal. It's allowing you to take in some fights. I think this is a bit of a high skill champion. It's not a surprise that we're seeing players like Metal Sonic Dude putting out so many videos of him that are so impressive, eye-catching. And we've got a guy like MP Blaze, outrageously skilled and smart player, doing great things with him. And honestly, White Mummy and I have been conning too, another incredibly smart, skilled player in Noon. I love this champion, and it also signals one other thing I want to tell you before we get to the fight. It signals one other thing for me is I've talked to you about this many times before, right? People have asked for my advice on prestige rank ups, and I'm like, unless you're ranking up Doom or Surfer, it's a nice temporary move, but I really don't think it changes things. Because if you just took up Valkyrie, right, and now Quicksilver's out, you're like, the prestige ceiling has grown so much, and you made this very tiny move, and you probably used a bunch of your Sig Stones to do it. I'm not trying to kick you while you're down. What I'm trying to do is prevent people from making similar moves in the future. I've been saying this for years. If you're going to make the prestige moves, it's kind of, for me anyways, it's the big ones or nothing, because I think if you go for the shorter term gains, I think you're going to suffer long term, because when and if you do pull Quicksilver, Doom, Surfer, you might not have the stones to put into them or the resources to put into them. I know, everyone's got to play their own game and how they want to play, but I did want to reference that in Prestige. I am going to probably start ranking Prestige champions. I do have a SIG 200 Silver Surfer. I intend to bring him up very soon with the rank 4 resources, and then just get my Prestige solidified, because I'll have Doom, Surfer, and Quicksilver, and then I'll get back to Nick Fury, Scorpion, and things like that. We'll see. That's my plan now. Things always change. Things always evolve. Battlegrounds is coming and all that. Oh, keep an eye out for me with a bit of a tournament. And then this is going on quite a bit. Check out this fight going up against a Mojo. This is a pretty difficult fight. Normally, this would have been a Spider-Man 99 fight, but again, I think he was banned, but I think we're going to see him banned quite a bit. Looking forward to using Quicksilver for some of those fights. Not all. They're not a 1-for-1, but there's fights that Quicksilver can take or make a little more easier than Miguel can do, and using him in the next season when 4Loki is back to pushing. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're like, dude, you made a huge mistake. You think this was a great call. Scorpion and Fury were very tough to pass up. Oh, and make sure you keep an eye out for the Essentials videos and videos on Quicksilver and Gallon. They both have, well, Gallon, it's his Cosmic Seed. Quicksilver, it's his Synergies. Really cool stuff like Professor X. Oh, had so much fun. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.